By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And today I've got an exciting old school magic match for you. I'm looking forward to this. I'm playing against brand new patron Erik. Erik, welcome to the show. Thank you for supporting Timmy Talks. And you are bringing mono blue Stasis to the table. And I kind of like that. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but it's been a while since I've played against one of those traditional Stasis decks. I like it. And I'm playing against your deck with Troll Disco. So it's a deck that I always have kind of in this little deck box. And I just love playing it. So every excuse to take it out of that box and play it, I do it. You know, I love it. And we're both playing underpowered, I believe. So this is just going to be a lot of fun. I think both of the decks have their own strengths and weaknesses in this particular matchup, but more about that in the deck tech section of this video. Now, before I jump to the deck tech section of the video, I would first like to tell you something about the Timmy Talks Patreon program. Aye, me hearties. If you would like to support the show, you can become a patron at patreon.com/TimmyTalks. We have 3 different patron levels. You can join as an apprentice for just $1 a month. And this will give you access to the Timmy Talks Discord, and you can join in on all the Timmy Talks online tournaments, such as the Color Clash and the Reprint Masters. You can also become a supporter at the Sorcerer level for just $2 a month. When you are a Sorcerer, your name will be mentioned in the end scroll, and if you want, you can play a game against, well, me. But there is more. If you become a supporter at the Pirate level, we can even make an episode together. Aye! Haha! You can also choose to pay annually for a 10% discount. So what are you waiting for, me hearty? Visit patreon.com/TimmyTalks and join the Timmy Talks crew. Arrgh. Okay, and we are back and ready to dive into the deck techs. I'm going to start with the player on the left that is, well, me. Let's take a look at my Troll Disco deck. And here we see my Troll Disco deck. So this is a traditional Troll Disco deck, right? Meaning I'm playing 4 Nevinyrral's Discs, I'm playing 4 Upton Trolls and 4 Sedge Trolls. So the strategy is pretty obvious with this type of deck, right? You cash your Nevinyrral's Disc, comes into play tapped. Then you pop your disc, you destroy all creatures, all artifacts, all enchantments. But of course, my creatures have regeneration, so I regenerate my creatures. My creatures stay alive. I can keep attacking my opponent, and my opponent loses everything. Now, I've added some more creatures to this deck, as you can see. I'm also playing with Rook Egg, full playset. Rook Egg, of course, really good synergy with the Nevinyrral's Disc because you want to get your Rook Egg killed because then you get that 4/4 bird token. I'm also playing with Mishra's Factory. Mishra's Factory together with Nevinyrral's Disc, of course, is a really good card because you know, when it's not a creature but still a land, it doesn't get affected by the activation of the Nevinyrral's Disc. So that just really fits in. And then I'm also playing with 2 Will-O-the-Wisps. You know, this is purely nostalgia for me. Will-O-the-Wisp used to be a creature that was put in every deck that had a black card in it. Willow was seen as such a good card. These days, of course, people prefer playing with, for example, Maze of Ith, and Willow is not as popular anymore. But it used to be a very popular card, and I just love the card. I like the art. I like the flavor. I just enjoy putting it in here. It's got regeneration, so it kind of fits. And I mean, it can kind of keep me safe against those really aggressive, quick creature decks, so that it can get to the point where I can cast my disc and I can, you know, destroy everything on sight. Now, besides this, I'm also playing with some burn. I've got an Earthquake. I've got a Fireball. Earthquake, again, works really well with my regeneration creatures and, of course, with my Rook Eggs. Then I'm also playing with 4 Lightning Bolts. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong with the bolts. Playing Mind Twist here, which is pretty nasty. I know what you're thinking, but I kind of like it in this build, to be honest. I'm also playing with Demonic Tutor, and then I've got a little trick up my sleeve, which is Howl from Beyond together with Sacrifice. So one of the things I could do here is when I attack at the right time, I could play Sacrifice on my own Rook Egg and use that to power up my Howl from Beyond. It's just a little funny combo that I like to do. I think Sacrifice could also be quite nice with Drain Life. I actually think I also have a version where I play with Drain Life instead of Howl from Beyond. Not sure if that is this version that we're going to look at today. So I've got, you know, that you have a deck and you keep tweaking a couple of cards, you've got a few slots open. That's kind of my Sacrifice, Howl from Beyond, and Animate Dead section, you know, and those cards have got some tweaking space. Also, the 2 Stone Rain, sometimes I keep them, sometimes I take them out, you know. So those are kind of your optional slots. But yeah, it's just your traditional Troll Disco deck. I really enjoy playing with it. I think in this particular matchup, it's going to be a little tough. And the reason I'm saying a little tough is I think the Never Knows Disc is really good because it can destroy everything on the side of Erik. And I think the Never Knows Disc is really bad because it comes into play tapped, and Stasis, well, keeps everything tapped. So it's kind of a love-hate thing. I really do know that those discs are probably going to be vital. So if I can get the disc on board before the Stasis hits the table, I'm kind of safe, or can get it untapped, I should say, before the Stasis hit the table. But if it's the other way around, I could get into some serious trouble. Talking about that, let's take a look at the deck of Erik. And here we see the Stasis deck of Erik. So maybe just start with Stasis so we all know kind of what we're up to. In case you don't know what the card does, you probably do, but let's just have a look at it anyway. So Stasis, enchantment from blue, 1 blue and 1 to cast. That reads, players skip their untap steps. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice its enchantment unless you pay a blue. Now, because you're skipping your untap step, it's kind of cumulative upkeep, right? You have to add an extra blue, an extra blue, an extra blue, because your islands, they do not untap anymore. It's that simple. So I really love this mechanic, in alpha. This card is really unique, and I think it's still pretty unique in Magic, especially in old school Magic. So Stasis makes sure you cannot untap anything. Then, of course, this works really well with Black Vice, because if you cannot untap your lands, you cannot empty your hand. There's nothing you can do. You're stuck, meaning the Vice will really do a lot of damage. To make sure the Vice works, you can put in some more Howling Mines to make it work more aggressively. But more important, the Howling Mine will also keep feeding you with the islands you need to pay to the Stasis to keep your opponent alive, or to keep yourself alive, I should say, long enough to kill your opponent. Now, there are a couple of cards in here that I really like, and maybe just start first with the fact that he's playing N4 Unsummon, N4 Boomerangs. I think it's pretty sweet. Of course, Unsummon is a card you use to defend yourself against, for example, a Sarah Angel, because a Sarah doesn't tap, right? But your opponent probably had to tap out to cast a Sarah, so you get your Stasis. Your opponent cannot untap anymore, but they can still attack with the Sarah. Unsummon the Sarah, end of the road for your opponent. And then, of course, there's the Boomerang, and Boomerang is something special. It's 2 blue instead of 1, but it can send back a permanent to somebody's hand. So you can send back your own Stasis on the end step of your opponent, meaning you get to untap with everything again, replay your Stasis, and be in full control for longer, if in the case that you're, running out of islands. So I really, really like that. And then there's a card here that he plays with from Legends, a card that maybe you don't see that often. It's called Backfire. It's an enchant creature for 1 blue that reads, whenever enchanted creature deals damage to you, this aura deals that much damage to the creature's controller. So again, I love these cards. I love players that try to find homes for cards that don't really have a home. And I think Backfire is one of those cards. It's actually not that bad, but it just doesn't see a lot of play. So I'm really happy, Erik, that you brought it here to the channel. Hopefully we get to see some Backfire action in the first game. And I'm saying in the first game because look at the sideboard. He's got a transformational sideboard, so he can put in a lot of creatures there in the sideboard. Zephyr Falcon, Yoshin Soldier, combine that with Unstable Mutation. And of course, these cards are really good with the Stasis strategy because you don't have to untap these creatures. So I really love it. I think Yoshin Soldier and Zephyr Falcon, I remember, back in the day as a little Tim, when there were a few people playing Stasis, they weren't very loved, but I always loved the version with Stasis that was mono blue like yours, and it used to play Zephyr Falcon and Yoshin Soldier. It just has something goofy and funny to it. I kind of like it. Maybe I won't like it anymore after a match. I'll let you know in the comments, but I love the way this looks. Let me put it that way. Anyway, this is the deck of Erik. You've seen my deck. So what are we waiting for? Let's go to the match. Game number 1 here is about to begin. Actually, it has already begun. Erik here on the play, starting with a basic island. He's on mono blue Stasis, and he's taking on my red and black troll disco deck. And what's always interesting about these matches is at first you're kind of trying to guess, what is my opponent doing? So I'm sure Erik is feeling the same way, and we just have very little information to go on, of course. And it's going to be my job to try to get a Never Knows Disc on the table and untap it as fast as possible to control the board. And it's going to be Erik's challenge here to time his Stasis right. Playing a second blue here, and I'm going to tap a black after playing out the Badlands. Okay, there's a Will-O-the-Wisp. 0/1 flyer. I can regenerate it for 1 black. A card, of course, that Erik really doesn't mind much. He's playing Creatureless in his main 60. After sideboarding, you can start boarding in creatures. Then the Wisp would be a little bit more annoying, but really no reason for Erik to counter this away. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking, okay, is he on, mono blue aggro? Well, probably not aggro because I still don't see a creature, but could be mono blue. Maybe there's a second color that he just hasn't drawn into yet. So you're trying to kind of guess, like, what is my opponent doing? Is he playing, for example, a blue-white thing? So I'm going to tap 3 here. Could be a troll coming. Yep, there's a troll. The Sedge Troll, 2/2 for 1 red and 2. For 1 black, you can regenerate it. And it gets a +1/+1 if you control a swamp. Which, of course, I do. So it's a 3/3. So this could be a little bit more problematic for Erik. But no counterspell here for him. And one of the things I do talk about, by the way, with the patrons is, I ask, what kind of level is your deck? Do you play with power? Do you consider this to be a good tournament deck or just a casual deck? Oh, there we see. This is, let me think, the Backfire, of course. I talked about it in the deck tech. So Backfire, pretty cool. Card from Legends for 1 blue, enchant creature. Probably going to enchant the Sedge Troll here. Erik kind of waving to the camera here to try to get this camera to zoom in properly. But it's a cool card. It means whenever I deal damage to the Sedge, I take as much damage as well. So I could attack Erik for 3, then we both take 3 damage. And this is a card you really don't see often. So at this point, I'm like, okay, what does he want to do? I still don't know. Could be Stasis, of course. But I remember not being 100% sure. So there's my attack. Now we're going to see the card in action. So the Backfire. So 3 damage for both of us dropping here to 17. And that's the cool thing. If you play with cards, you don't see that often. Playing out here, another Sedge Troll, by the way, in the second main. This one's altered by MTG Underground. Thank you so much, MTG. There we see a counterspell. Countering away my Sedge. It's got really cool flavor text on it that he started to make soup. Very funny. But it gets countered away here by Erik. And yeah, like I said, it's one of the advantages of playing with cards you don't see often is that you really let your opponent guess. Your opponent gets like, okay, what does he want to do? Why is there this card in the deck? Is there a special reason? Is there a strategy? Like you start overthinking it. So 2 blue more on the board, and there's the Stasis. So now I kind of know what's going on. Hey, there's the Stasis. Now we know what Erik's up to. And of course, this is going to give me some advantage in the second game. But for now, it's a well-timed Stasis, I think. Playing a mountain passing the turn. Of course, having to skip my untap phase. Erik here paying 1 blue for his Stasis. Has 2 blue open still. So I wonder if he's got a Boomerang, for example, that he could play in my end step. Okay, there's another blue. I guess the card here that Erik is missing to really make this work is a Howling Mine. Howling Mine is usually the most important card in these combo decks. You just want to keep drawing more cards. You can keep finding lands and other pieces of your combo that you need. So here we see me just passing the turn. Erik paying the upkeep cost for the Stasis. Playing another island. Yeah, so the only thing here that's going wrong in Erik's plan, now the Stasis is just buying him time. But he's not putting any pressure on my life. Of course, you want to have like a Vice and like I said, a Howling Mine ideally before you play the Stasis. There's the pass. Erik tapping another land here. So only 2 blue open. Can he find another one? No, he can't. So perhaps needs to fire off a Boomerang. Playing a Badlands passing the turn. Yep, there we see the Boomerang. So playing out the Boomerang. Yeah, this is ideal, right? So it gets the Stasis back. Then it's untap, upkeep, and draw. So it gets to untap all his islands. Yeah, this is great. And there's not much I can do. Like after sideboarding, I can board in Red Elemental Blast, protect myself against these shenanigans. But for now, he's in total control. Going to tap 2 more blue. There's the Stasis again. So again, I am stuck, I guess, passing the turn back to me. So I'm on 7. And still, of course, have that tapped Sedge. My Lonely Willow and 3 lands untapped, 3 lands tapped, passing the turn back to Erik. Erik going to pay another 1. So this is your classic Stasis lock, right? He really just needs to find that balance. Or sorry, that Black Vice, and he's in a very good position. I mean, for me, of course, I'm hoping that maybe he's not able to keep paying for the cost. Going to tap 2, expecting to see a Howling Mine. Exactly, Howling Mine here. So this is going to let us draw 2 cards. That's, of course, great here for Erik. And so I'm going to draw 2 cards. Now I'm going to go up to 9. This is starting to get painful for me. I'm tapping 2. What am I going to do for 2? Oh, there's a Shatter. So I'm going to destroy the Howling Mine here on site. Is he going to counter it away? That's the question. If he does, he is going to counter it away. But now, of course, he's going to lose his stasis, though. So, I mean, this is a good moment for me. Going to tap another red. A lightning bolt here on the life total of Erik's is going to drop to 14. And I mean, I guess that's better than discarding a card. So I'm going to pass the turn. And now you see Erik's in trouble, right? Because untap, upkeep, in the upkeep step, of course, and the untap step he doesn't have because of stasis. Upkeep, he has to pay for the stasis. He can. That means I'm going to be the first one to untap. And I've got 7 cards in hand. Of course, 9 after the draw with that Howling Monster. So it's going to be huge for me. So Erik's a little bit in trouble. The good news for Erik, though, is that my best weapon against him comes into play tapped, which is the Nevinyrral's Disc. So this is going to be an important turn for me. Untap, upkeep, and draw 2. I mean, you have to assume that Erik has another stasis in his hand. So really have to think about this turn. I mean, even if he has a stasis, I think I just have to slam a Nevinyrral's Disc on the board if I have it. You know what else can I do? 9 cards in hand, 6 mana available. Could, of course, attack with the Sedge. So putting my duels kind of in piles here. Am I going to just play more trolls? I mean, that's another option, I guess. You can see I'm a little bit conflicted here, knowing that my next disc is going to come into play tapped, which is not what you want in this matchup. But yeah, exactly, I'm going for it, hoping that maybe Erik doesn't have the stasis, knowing that's very unlikely. And of course, I'm also missing that land that I cannot end play the disc and play out a Sedge Troll or an Ufton Troll, putting extra pressure on Erik's life total. Attacking here with the Sedge. Going to put him on 11. Of course, I'm also taking 3 damage. Going to drop to 14. So 2 Badlands untapped for me and discarding a Will-O-the-Wisp. Passing turn. Yeah, that Willow is absolutely useless in this matchup. And now Erik can untap. I think if you're Erik and you have the stasis, you're happy. If you don't have the stasis, you're kind of nervous. Going to draw 2 cards again. I mean, the Howling Mine is really gonna help him here. Finding another island. No stasis, please, Erik. No, yeah, there's the stasis. I mean, you kind of know it's coming, but of course you're hoping it's not. But yeah, it's here for Erik, and that means there's nothing I can do next turn. At least there's no Vice. I'm surprised there's still no Vice on board. Looks like I want to tap a red. Right, I assume I just want to fire off a bolt. No, oh, look at that. Going to go for Soul Ring. So could use the Soul Ring here and, of course, a land to maybe drop another Sedge. I mean, it's another attack for 3, I guess. We'll put him on 8. Discarding the Rook Egg, passing the turn, so I guess I don't have it. Here we see Erik paying another blue. No problem for him, of course. Going to draw 2 more cards while I'm checking out my graveyard. He's going to tap 2 blue. Oh, double Vice! Oh, yeah. I think this game will now end very soon. It was a matter of time before he would hit the Vices. And yeah, like I said, you know, I know the disc is not a great weapon against the stasis, but I had to go for my outs, hoping to be lucky there, knowing that Erik probably had that second stasis in hand. So, going to draw my cards for turn, take damage, right? I'm now on 8. This could go very fast. We're talking 6 damage a turn here. So I'm on a 2-turn clock, actually. With very little to go for. I have no way to untap my disc. Going to tap 3. There we see a Stone Rain. Okay, so this could help, actually. Attacking the mana base, hoping he doesn't have a lot of basic lands in hand. So he's going to tap 2, including the one I'm targeting. He's going to Boomerang. Look at that. Going to get back his stasis. Having to discard here an Ufton Troll. Yeah, this is pretty devastating. That Boomerang saving it here for Erik wasn't even that necessary. Could have decided to wait. Depending, of course, on what's in hand. Going to drop another island. Going to pay 1 blue. Oh, another Vice. Am I dead? I think I'm dead because that's 7 in hand. Taking 9. Yeah. I think that's it. Wow, what a classic way of winning it here for Erik on Stasis, Mono Blue, Creatureless Stasis. Passing turn, untap is not there. Upkeep, dead, exactly. Game 1 here won by Erik, but now Erik, I know what you're up to, man. And I can board in my red elemental blast and I'm warned. So that's probably what I'm going to do, and I can board out those willows because they're useless against you. But you know what? We're going to find all of that out in game number 2. Game number 2, here we go. And of course, I'm on the play after losing that first game. 6 cards in hand. I took a mulligan. Not sure if Erik did as well. I think he's starting with 7. But we'll find out. Playing out a mountain here, passing the turn. And I wonder if Erik boarded in his creatures, because that, of course, I don't know. So, I mean, I know he's playing Stasis, creatureless, but I don't know about his transformational sideboard. Playing a second mountain here, passing the turn. No black for me yet. 5 cards in hand, passing to Erik. Erik, of course, playing more blue. Turn 2, are we going to see a Sapphire Falcon? No, there's a Howling Mine. So that's actually kind of nice for me at this point. I'm going to play a swamp here. Are we going to see a troll? That's the question. Playing with 4 Setches and 4 Often Trolls. No, we're not. Passing your turn. I'm getting a little worried here, giving Erik time again. And with that Howling Mine, maybe he's going to find the pieces. But of course, I've got red elemental blasts now in the deck. But I'm sure Erik boarded in some maybe blue blasts. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen. Erik here passing your turn again. Another mountain. Going to tap 4. Oh, there we see the Nevinyrral's Disc. Yeah, this is so important. Will this resolve? This could be huge if it resolves. And untaps, of course. Yeah, Erik not countering this away. That's an unexpected bonus here for me. There's another island. Are we going to see a Stasis? That's the next question. I mean, I hope not, of course. Erik a little bit in the tank, realizing that he really doesn't want to see that disc getting untapped. Tapping the fingers here, really in the tank. Going to tap 2. Are we going to see a Stasis? Oh no, we're going to see a Winter Orb. That's pretty close to a Stasis, but not as bad for me here, because I do get to untap a land and, of course, my disc. So not as devastating here. It's annoying for sure. I could, of course, consider using the disc now, blow up the mine and the Winter Orb. 7 cards in hand for me. But maybe I want to get some more value out of the Nevinyrral's Disc. I mean, my life total is not in danger. So I've got time. So yeah, I think I'm really in the tank here, thinking about, okay, do I want to maybe blow up the disc, you know, and make sure he doesn't draw that extra card with the mine. But I guess I'm just passing turn. And I think that's a good decision at this point. I mean, an untapped disc is so good in this matchup. I feel like that alone should kind of give me the win. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I really feel comfortable with this untapped disc. Erik's going to tap a blue, second blue. Okay, there we see a creature, Sapphire Falcon. Very hard to see, by the way, but it's a 1/1 that can attack without tapping. Pretty cool art, which is not very visible at this point, but look up the card if you don't know it. It's from Legends. Playing out another swamp for me, by the way. And now also Erik showing how many cards he's got in hand. 7 for him, 7 for me, it seems. I think I've got 8 in hand after playing out the land, by the way, because I was already on 7. So I should be on 8 after playing out the land. Thinking about maybe playing a bolt here. Or not. I guess I had 7. No, exactly. Yeah, still at the discard. Discarding a mountain, passing the turn. So allowing Erik here to kind of have fun with his Falcon. I mean, it's only 1 point of damage. I mean, if it's going to play Unstable Mutation, it's a different story. But then again, he's putting more cards on the board. So I'm on 19. And I still think that it's not a good idea to pop the disc. Could consider doing it on end step. Of course, not sure what I have in hand. But I mean, it doesn't seem, the damage doesn't seem to be big enough here to pop the disc. The disc is so good in this match. But I do like, you know, I do like what Erik's doing. Playing this little 1/1 and just poking at my life. And Erik here, I think in the tank, maybe he has to discard a card. Trying to figure out what to do next. Yeah, he's got to discard 2 cards actually. Discarding there a Backfire and another Zephyr Falcon. That's interesting. So he's keeping 2 blue open, kind of indicating that he's got counter magic. Am I going to blow it up? Oh, I'm going to play a bolt. Going to play a lightning bolt here on the Zephyr Falcon. Now the question is Erik going to counter this away? Oh, he's going to unsummon. Yeah, that works. That definitely works. And now I'm going to untap one of the swamps, playing out a mountain. And I'm wondering, by the way, if we're sequencing this correct, because Erik already discarded. So isn't that like the last step, part of the cleanup step? Can you then as an opponent still cast a bolt after the discard step? I'm not sure if you can. Let me know in the comments below how that works with the end step. I mean, I don't think it's very relevant in this situation, but it just makes me wonder. Anyway, I'm playing out another land. So 2 untapped mountains, 2 untapped swamps, 7 cards in hand, 19 life. Second game, lost the first game. Erik on 20 still, having a Winter Orb and a Howling Mine out. And we're kind of keeping each other hostage, right? I'm like, I don't want to pop the disc now. There's not enough value. And maybe Erik's kind of feeling the same way. Like, what does he have to commit to the board to make me force using the disc without really dealing too much damage here to Erik's plan? So Erik first, of course, going to draw 2 for turn again. So he's got 9 in hand, I believe. There's another island. And okay, there we see the Zephyr Falcon again. So the 1/1 flyer is back. Doesn't have to tap to attack, and therefore it works very well with, of course, the Stasis. Going to draw 2 cards for turn again here. Going to go up to 9 as well. Going to play a Badlands. Having a lot of mana here, by the way. Going to tap 2 red, it seems. Ooh, going to tap 4. Do I have an egg, perhaps? A Rook egg. Yep, there's the Rook egg. 0/3 creature from Arabian Nights. And when it's destroyed, you get a 4/4 bird token at your next end step. So that could be quite good. So maybe this is just what I needed to pop the disc. And it resolved, by the way. Erik didn't counter it away. He's going to draw 2 cards for turn. Going to play an island for turn. There's the attack here with the Falcon. So I'm going to drop here to 18. Let's see what else Erik is going to do. I mean, is he going to play out something else, or is he simply going to discard back to hand size? Going to discard here, discarding the Winter Orb. And then here I'm going to pop the disc on the end step, the end of the end step of Erik. And I guess, I mean, Rukek says at the beginning of the next end step, right? I mean, this is all end step shenanigans, but I think in theory, I should have popped the disc in his main phase still. And look at this, by the way, Boomerang on the Howling Mine, which is pretty sweet. And he's going to also unsummon the Falcon. No, he's going to, of course, unsummon the Rook token. Oh, but look at this. Red Elemental Blast to protect the 4/4 flyer. Oh, man, this was an important moment in the game. But again, I think if I want to have that 4/4 bird token in the turn of Erik still, and I do want to have that because then it doesn't have summoning sickness, then I should pop the disc at the end of his second main. And I mean, that has an influence on how he's going to discard, and maybe he wants to do something still because it's still his main phase. Anyway, going to play out a Demonic Tutor here. I wonder if I'm going to just look up a second disc. Also because he cannot counter at the moment, he's tapped out. So there's the attack with the 4/4. So Erik dropping to 16. Okay, there we see a Mishra's Factory. Yeah, gonna tap 4. I think this is just gonna be another disc, right? Yep, there's another disc on the table. So really only giving Erik 1 turn to try to find that stasis to make sure I don't untap my disc. Of course, he does get to untap with everything. Winter Orb's gone. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get to see a stasis here followed up by a Vice. And then, of course, the question is, do I have a red Elemental Blast still to counter the stasis? But yeah, let's first see what Erik can do. He's going to tap 2 blue. Uh-oh. That could be a CMC for a stasis. Yep, there's the stasis hitting the board. Yeah, that's not great for me. Unless, of course, I have my red Elemental Blast to the ready. Could also, of course, consider to let it resolve and on end step destroy the stasis. Here we see Erik tapping more. Are we also going to see the Howling Mine? There's the Howling Mine. I mean, this is what you want to do in life if you're Erik. All you need to do now is also cast your Vice and you're good to go. I mean, he's on 16. It's a very comfy life total. Yeah, look at that. I'm unable to do anything against it. Oh, this is bad for me. Going to draw 2 cards, go to 7. Going to play a land, I guess. Go back to 6 in hand, play the Soaring, go to 5 in hand. Passing the turn. Yeah, I just have to hope that Erik cannot find enough islands, but that's unlikely, right? With that active mine, and maybe he also has a boomerang. There we see another island here on the board. Yeah, this is just great for Erik. Exactly what he needed. He had 1 turn, right? 1 turn that disc comes into play. It's still tapped. That's the moment that Erik has to do his thing, and he did. Passing the turn to me, by the way, playing another land. 6 cards in hand. Yeah, passing the turn back here, just hoping that Erik maybe is just going to draw crap, basically, and that he's unable to continue paying for the stasis. But, I mean, that active Howling Mines make it really difficult for that scenario to happen. Playing another island, so at least has 3 more turns that he can pay for the stasis. No Vice, though. I guess that's a silver lining for me. Going to draw 2 cards. Now for turn. Ooh, I'm going to tap something, going to do something, maybe a creature. There's a Stone Rain. Okay, so again, trying to attack the mana base here. Is he going to counter it away? That's a question. There's a Boomerang. Okay, well, pretty much the same thing. Oh, Boomerang is so good. Do I have a red Elemental Blast? Do I have it? Do I have it? Do I have it? That would be huge. Oh, red Elemental Blast. Oh, does he have a blue Elemental Blast? I hope not. This could be vital. Yeah, Stasis is going to stick around, though. Oh, I could target the Stasis, of course, in response to the Boomerang. Yeah, that makes more sense. Instead of countering the Boomerang itself. Does mean, though, that Erik gets to untap. So that's a silver lining for him. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't have... another Stasis in hand. What I could have done as well, of course, and I think we were discussing this as well, is say, you know what, you do your thing, and then I'm going to try to, red Elemental Blast the Stasis in your end step. And I think that's kind of what I was now thinking about, like, oh, what's the best thing to do? But, it's all a game of psychology, isn't it? I think this is the right decision, because if he untaps, right? I mean, if he goes into upkeep, I mean, even now I'm doubting it. Probably I should have just countered away the Boomerang. Because then he has to pay his last blue, right? And then on my end step, I can destroy the Stasis. I'm the first one to untap, and maybe then he has a blue Elemental Blast to counter away my red Elemental Blast. Yes. But I could take that small risk. Because now he gets to untap. If he has another Stasis, I'm pretty much in the same position that I was, but we'll just have to see. So let's see what Erik's going to do here. And I find it quite an interesting game, right? He's going to tap 2. Uh-oh. Am I going to get punished? Erik, are you going to punish me here, man? You've already lost 1 Stasis. But I believe you've got 4 in the deck, right? So, okay, he's going to tap more mana. That's a good sign, because Stasis is only 2. Going to tap 3 blue. Okay, there's a Yoshin Soldier, a 1/4 creature from Antiquities for 3. Doesn't have to tap when it attacks. So yeah, this is not really a concern. The only thing I'm worried about, of course, is the Stasis. And if he cannot play out a Stasis, this is golden. I get to untap my my Nevinyrral's Disc. And that's crucial in this matchup, I feel. So Erik's still a little bit in the tank. And maybe we were still discussing that previous play with the Red Elemental Blast. It's always nice in these casual games, like we take a moment to discuss strategy. Not too much, of course. We're not going to give advice, but it's always nice to kind of talk about things. It's going to tap a blue. Oh, there's again the backfire. I guess on the bird, right? Nice. I like it. Erik, again, man, I'm loving the fact you're playing 4 of those. So cool. So I get to untap, upkeep, and draw. Yeah, I get to untap everything, which is really sweet. And get to draw 2 cards because of that Howling Mine, which is really sweet. So I'm going to draw 2 more cards. Go up to 8. I mean, I'm on 18, he's on 16, so I could just, attack with the bird, right? He would drop to 12, I would drop to 14. But let's first see what I can do. Gonna tap a black and 2. And, ooh, there's a Setch. Well, Setch is actually a red and 2, not a black and 2. That's so weird that I... Anyway, let's see what else I'm going to do. Okay. I guess I'm just tapping it weird, but now it makes sense with the with the 3 mountains. So I'm tapping 6 for double Setch. So 2 3/3 creatures that can regenerate for a black. Yeah, now it's getting pretty problematic, I guess, for Erik. Another Setch. Wow. That is huge. Now remember, this Setch can regenerate, so I could attack with the bird, blow up the board, right? It's something I could do, regenerate all my Setches. But I mean, if I do and he's got a Stasis, I'm still in a bad place. So I guess I don't. I don't even attack here with the 4/4 flyer. I'm surprised that I don't do that. I think that's a mistake. When I can deal damage, I should deal damage, even if that means that I take 4 as well. Who cares? 18 versus 16. I should just swing in here with my 4/4 flyer. Maybe I forgot. Maybe I was too focused on tapping my mana in a really weird way that I just didn't think about it. But anyway, it's Erik's turn, so we'll just have to wait and see. And I think if, Erik also knows, okay, he has to do something here. Or else the Setches are going to get him. I mean, I'm saying he has to do something. I think the best thing for Erik here is actually to wait until at least I've attacked with my Setches and everything's tapped, because then the Stasis is better. And the problem, of course, here for Erik is that untapped Nevinyrral's Disc. He has to find a way to commit a little bit more to the board, create a problem for me that I feel that it's a good moment for me to pop the disc. But of course, that problem cannot be the Stasis, unless of course he's got 2 Stasises. That could be good. Use the first Stasis to tempt me to blow up the board, which I probably will. And then play your second Stasis. And I think one of the problems for Erik here in this game too is, of course, that I've boarded in the Red Elemental Blast. So all of a sudden, I can also counter something I couldn't do in the first game. Oh, there we see a Winter Orb. Yeah, interesting. Interesting card, because that could be annoying enough for me to want to use the disc. I'm probably going to be disciplined. Exactly. It looks like I'm already picking the land that I want to untap. So untap, upkeep here, untapping that 1 land, and then we're going to go to the draw step. Going to go up to 6. And I'm just assuming I'm now going to attack with all my Setches and the bird. Still not attacking with the bird. Finally attacking with the bird. And still, I really feel like I should have attacked with the bird that turn earlier. But okay, didn't do that. Yotian Soldier blocking one of the sedges. So he's going to take 10. That's a huge hit. It's going to go down to 6, I believe. I'll take 4 from the backfire, go to 14. Just the one block, right? Could have also animated my factory. I mean, if you go all in, you should go all in. But it looks like he wants to do something else. Maybe play an unsummon. Gonna tap a blue. Unsummon on the bird will be quite good. Okay, gonna do it on a sedge. Because of that backfire, he wants to keep it around, I guess. So it's gonna take 7 damage instead of 10. And here we see I'm going to 14 because of the backfire. And Erik here dropping down. Let's see, it's gonna drop down to 9. Okay. So it takes 7 points of damage, drops to 9. I'm on 14, Erik's on 9. Probably going to recast a sedge, exactly. Going to pass turn here to Erik. Erik's untapping all the lands, but he can't because he's got the Winter Orb. Exactly, so he can only untap 1 blue. I mean, again, it's got enough blue, you know, it doesn't have to worry. The problem again for Erik is still that untap Neff's disc, because even if he finds a stasis now, which is pretty good, you got to do it or else you die. But I mean, then I'm just gonna pop the disc, and I've got 3 Sedge Trolls that I still can regenerate, so that would be more than enough to, well, actually exactly enough to deal those vital 9 points of damage here. So Erik here in the tank. I mean, if he does nothing, he's dead. So he has to do something. It's as simple as that. Yeah, pointing at my disc, saying, yeah, I got the disc. I'm feeling good here with the disc. Yeah, Erik kind of probably knows it's probably going to be my last turn. Whoa, look at this. I love it. He's going to play out 2 more Yotian Soldiers. I mean, that's good. That buys him time, actually. That buys him another turn at least. So that's 6 mana. So he's going to tap the mana, right? And it looks like I want to do something on hand. Yeah, I am going to pop the disc here, of course. Yeah, going to pop the disc. I'm going to destroy all the soldiers and then I can still win. Yeah, of course. So the soldiers didn't buy him a turn, but I think if you're Erik, you kind of had to do it. There's the attack here. And I also, yeah, of course I'm going to animate. Attack for 11. It's going to unsummon one of the sedges. That's pretty sweet. Oh, there's a bolt, though. Another bolt. Okay. Enough bolts already. Gonna play out all the bolts. Winning here at game number 2. It's a 1-1. That's exciting news because that means we're going to go to an all-decisive game number 3. And I wonder, Erik, if you're going to board out your creatures again in game number 3. Make it full circle. That would be quite interesting to see. Anyway, we'll find that out in game number 3. Game number 3 of the big decider. Here we go. 7 in hand for me. Let's see if Erik's going to keep as well. 7 for Erik. So both of us going to keep our opening hand. And yeah, game 3. Let's see who's going to win this one. Is it going to be me on a Troll Disco or Erik with his mono blue Stasis deck? Oh, this is good for him. Wow. Vice turn 1. Maybe I should have taken a mulligan here. Playing a mountain passing the turn. Hopefully I've got a bolt in there. Let's see what Erik can do. Turn 2. Gonna tap 2. Oh, look at this. Another Vice and a tower, but the second Vice. That's a killer. I'm on what, 11? Yeah, 11. Taking 6 points of damage. This could be a very short game 3. Holy moly. And we didn't really see Vice play a big role, you know, in the first games. Playing here a Fireball for 1 just to empty my hand. And of course, I mean, I do realize in game 1 that Erik won with the Vice, but I mean, it wasn't an aggressive Vice as we see here. He played the Vice when he had the lock online, but this is the opposite. 6 cards in hand, taking another 4 damage, dropping to 7. Erik not even playing out a land, just passing turn here. Oh man, this is horrible for me. This is going to be problematic. 7 in hand. Wait a minute, missing a land drop? Really? Come on, you got to be joking. Did I keep? Oh, and of course, now he's going to boomerang. Okay, I'm going to red elemental blast. Okay, so that's something at least. Also empties my hand a little bit, go back to 6, but losing that land drop, that's brutal. Oh, another Vice! Am I dead already? No, I'm on 1, I think, next turn. Those Vices, Erik, damn, they're so strong early in the game. Also, when you're playing underpowered, you don't have the Moxie, just empty your hand. But also, I wonder why I kept a hand with, I guess, 2 mountains and stuff in there. Maybe going to 1 here. Maybe I just had a lot of red Elemental Blast or something. Okay, a Swamp here, at least finding another land. But still, 6 in hand is way too many. Gonna tap 3. Probably gonna play a Troll. No, gonna play a Stone Rain. Okay, fair enough. Destroy an island, but it's not gonna help me. 5 cards in hand, meaning I'm gonna end up -2 next turn. I guess untap upkeep if I've got some bolts, right? Play 1 bolt. Passing the turn, untap, upkeep, and that's it. Wow! Oh, look at my hand. My hand's pretty good, actually. Dang it, but those Vices, Erik, they were so aggressive. Like, turn 1, 1 Vice, turn 2, 2 Vice, turn 3, your 3rd Vice. And that was the end of the road for me. And I guess I underestimated the Vices. Didn't see a turn 1 Vice at all until that game 3. And that really totally wrecked me. Very well played, Erik. And if you're looking at this match and you think, oh, wow, I would love to play against Timmy as well. You actually can. You can become a patron of the show. Check out patreon.com/TimmyTalks to find out how you can support the show and how you can play against me if you want to. And the cool thing is, when you're a patron, you also get your name mentioned in the end scroll at the end of every single video. What end scroll? This end scroll.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scouts to the husband's son, put him in the scouts to the husband's son, put him in the scouts to the husband's son. Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning.
Icketus, ficketus, sumba, kazee.